welcome back. So I know most of my storytime videos lately have been like hours long, but today I'm going to try and tell a short one, and it just happened last night. First of all, yes, I'm using Squillard. Again, that's her name because it's a joke from my friend, but yeah, haven't used her much, so why not use her today? This is the story of why I had to clean glass up at 2 a.m. last night. Definitely what I wanted to do. So as I've said before with how our house is laid out, Leah and I have our bedrooms downstairs while everyone else sleeps upstairs. But last night, Leah was actually at a sleepover, so I had the downstairs all to myself. So it was nearly like 2 a.m. and I was up late editing. I was editing those 5 MEP parts. So yeah, everyone else was in bed, but I was up late editing. And then when I was finally about to go and get ready for bed, I heard this horrific crash. It was loud. And yeah, things fall in this house all the time. The cats knock something down, something falls off a pile, but it did not sound like the average crash. Like, it sounded really rough, like something broke. So I'm already paranoid about noises, but at 2 a.m. I get even more paranoid. So I'm like, what is that? And I'm the only one up in the middle of the night, so I'm the only one who heard it. So I'm just imagining all the awful things it could be. I'm like, maybe it's fire, or an explosion, or the cats got hurt, or a burglar, or something. I don't know, but I was terrified. So I ventured out to try and figure out what on earth that noise was. So I checked a bunch of rooms downstairs. I checked in the rec room because that's where I thought it would be, but no, I didn't see anything totally different. There were a few things on the floor, and I'm thinking, trying to remember, was that on the floor before? I don't remember, but even if not, I don't think that would sound like a shattering crash if it fell. I looked in the laundry room, I looked in Leah's room, I looked in the furnace room, I even went upstairs, but I couldn't find anything, and I was so confused, because it definitely sounds like something shattered, but I couldn't find anything disturbed. So I'm thinking, well, guess I'm just being paranoid. Guess I'll go to bed and hopefully figure it out tomorrow. So I opened the door to the bathroom so I could brush my teeth and get ready for bed. And to my surprise, I opened the bathroom door and a piece of glass fell out. So yeah, our hanging bathroom mirror in the downstairs bathroom fell and completely shattered on the floor. And I was like, what does one do in this situation? So even though I didn't feel like I had to, I decided I would be the one to clean this up at 2 a.m. So this is the picture I took when I walked in the bathroom. It was scary. But then I got to cleaning it up, and I wasn't exactly sure how. But I took the broom and I swept up the glass and made different piles. I didn't throw it out though, because you can't just throw out glass, and especially not without asking the parents first, you know. But also, we didn't have a dustpan. We have no idea where it is. It's lost somewhere. And we also don't even have a bag in the garbage can anyway. So I swept the teeny tiny pieces into a dirt pile. And then I put the medium-sized pieces in this little brown stand in there. And then the giant pieces I put on the dresser by the shower. I just didn't want anyone to get hurt. I'm the one who mainly uses this downstairs bathroom, but still, other people do go in there sometimes, and I didn't want anyone to get hurt. So I cleaned and rearranged things to the best of my ability, but it was not easy. So, first of all, handling glass sucks, and I did get hurt quite a few times. Not super deep cuts, there's that right there, and then that there. Other than that, I don't think any deep cuts. But of course, I'm still worried, what if there's glass stuck in my hand now? What if I get tetanus or sepsis or my life? Ugh. You can't do anything if you have health anxiety without thinking that it's going to kill you. So, yeah, just for that record. So I cleaned everything up to the best of my ability, but I know I missed some pieces and it's not fully cleaned yet. So it's not really safe for anyone to go in there at the moment. But yeah, for by myself at 2 a.m. panicked, I think I did a pretty okay job. And honestly, I'm glad that Leah was at a sleepover, because if she were at home, she would have heard that and made a big scene. But I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it myself. There's no one else here, so I'm just gonna do what I can to be helpful. So I spent about 20 minutes cleaning that, and I was like, okay, that's good enough, I guess. So I went back to my room and I sent my mom the picture and texted her the story, because in case she went in there tomorrow or my dad went in there tomorrow and I wasn't up yet, I didn't want them to have a massive shock to see like piles of glass hanging around and the mirror back standing up without a mirror. And I also didn't want them to think like the cats did it or anything, so that's why I closed the door and I'm like, no one was in there, the cats didn't knock it down, it just fell down. You know, it really reminded me of that scene in Serpent Scars episode 7. If you guys don't know what Serpent Scars is, it's a series I made last year inspired by The Nursery Nurse and different fan fictions, like, you know, of the Siobhan Ratty Roger abuse story. But basically in that scene, Siobhan smashes a mirror and Ratty Roger yells at her. You know what? That's one of the scenes I've done that I'm most proud of to this day. So let's roll a clip.
How do you allow this to happen to you? You're pathetic! Siobhan, what the fuck was all that noise? Roger, the mirror!
Yeah, so if you guys haven't watched Serpent Scars, I highly recommend that you do. Trigger warning, it is quite triggering, but you know, all that's in the description of every episode. So anyway, that episode is called Made of Glass because glass shatters and becomes symbolic, and actually it doesn't matter. Why am I giving stuff away? I shouldn't. You guys should go watch it for yourself. And actually, Made of Glass was the title of the original Siobhan fanfiction that inspired Charlotte to start that storyline. And actually, if you look in the description where I would link like the fanfics that inspired me, most of them are deleted now, so that's unfortunate. It seems Cheryl, who made the original, has given up on The Nursery Nurse, and that's sad, but kind of understandable. It is a very different show now, and even I'm not very happy with all the decisions that have been made over the last year or so. But yeah, so that just kind of brought me back to that, cleaning up glass, and like, it's like that one scene. How awful, but yeah. Anyway, after a while, I finally went to bed, and like, I do this thing where I wake up like multiple times in the morning, fall back to sleep until I finally get up. And during one of the first times I woke up, I could hear my dad saying like, oh, it broke, but she tried to clean it herself and she did pretty good. And I'm like, oh, thanks. But later, actually, when I like really got up, I talked to my mom and she's saying like, well, thank you for doing that, but you should have just left it. Like, that's not really safe to handle. We could have handled it the next morning. And I'm like, yeah, but I wanted to help. So yeah, right now she's saying don't go in that bathroom until we can fully clean it. But yeah, I did an okay job, so that's good. Just so like no one would get hurt, and it'll be a bit easier for them to clean up now that everything's been sorted. And I felt bad. I asked my mom, like, how attached are you to that mirror? And she's saying, like, oh, not attached. Like, it was just a random one my mom gave us that she didn't want anymore. So that's good. But yeah, I'm pretty tired after all that. But at least we survived, and it wasn't a burglar or a fire or an explosion. So that was kind of rough, but we did it, and thankfully no one was in the bathroom at the time because that could have been a disaster. But anyway, we have a lot of mirrors in the bathroom, but that hanging one is officially history, so that sucks. I love to take photos in it, so sadly I can't do that anymore, but you know, maybe we'll get a new one, and even if we don't, it's okay. But yeah, that is why I was cleaning up glass at 2 a.m. and I posted on my Instagram story, and I'm like, just what I wanted to be dealing with at 2 a.m. Yay. No, in all seriousness, I handled it the best I could, and it could have been way worse, so at least there's that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment if you can, and we'll see you later. Bye.